Good morning, everybody. It is, I'm not even sure, it's like 5 something in the morning. Don't focus over there. I'm tapping my screen. It's not working very well. It's 5 something in the morning. For once, my kids are not up yet. And I just wanted to talk to you about something I have been thinking about a lot lately. And that is how often we make our stand based on things that we are against. And we become known for things we're against. We talk about the things we hate. We talk about the stores or the clerks that were rude to us. We talk about the people who have done us wrong. We talk about the stuff that we stand against. And so, caveat, let me begin by saying that I believe absolutely that we need to take strong stances against sin. But here's the thing. A lot of times, a lot of us become known for what we hate instead of focusing on the things that we love that are the antidote to what we hate. Does that make sense? So if I am known for being against abuse, then if all my focus is on just chasing out abusers, then what does that turn me into? However, if I am known for being for healing, for growth, for wholeness, then what does that turn me into? Being for healing is being against abuse, because you cannot heal in an abusive relationship. You cannot heal in an abusive workplace. You cannot function properly in an abusive church. You can't become so, let me rephrase that. You can't thrive as a follower of Christ in a holistic way, in a healthy, strong way, if you are staying in an abusive environment. But if all we focus on is talking about the abuse, then we are not focusing on being for healing. Now, here is another caveat. It is important to tell our stories. I'm not saying we shouldn't tell our stories. It is important to state what we have been through. It is important to take full assessment so that we can truly forgive and know what we are forgiving. Those are really important things. I'm talking about more along the lines of our reputation and what we focus on in our long-term trajectory over the course of our lives. So here's what I'm thinking about. Abuse wrecks our picture of God, right? When someone says, I love you, this is inside the family, let's say. When someone says, I love you, and then abuses us, they're teaching us that abuse and love can coexist together. And that someone who says, I love you, can also freely mistreat you according to their will and against your will, and that that's okay, and that's even to be expected. That's wrong. Now, outside in a workplace, someone may not be saying, I love you, but you feel obligated to stay there. You don't feel like you can leave. And so you're there, you're suffering through it, you're living in the middle of the vortex, never, always braced, never knowing what's going to drop on your shoulders next, always waiting for the next shoe to fall kind of thing, and shoe to drop, whatever the idiomatic expression is. And so you're living in this environment of tension and awkward expectation and paranoia and constant rebalancing and walking on eggshells. So in those kinds of environments, when authority is abusive, it still wrecks with our picture of God, especially even in a workplace or a church. If, hey, Stephen, I see you from Australia. That's awesome. Glad you're here. And April and Jeannie and Dale, I'm really glad you're on. So if someone who claims to have anything to do with God is acting in an abusive way, especially in a pervasive, ongoing pattern, then it's teaching us subconsciously that abuse is part of the character of God. If I claim the character of God and then I act deceptively and manipulating you, then that's breaking down your picture of the character of God. And especially when this happens to us as children. When, as children, we see a parent or a caregiver or a beloved friend or family member who says, I love you, and then openly or secretly mistreats and abuses us, then we are sustaining possibly irreparable damage, depending on whether or not we realize it later, to our picture of God's character. Because if God is love and he allows someone who claims his name to hurt others, then love must include hurt, right? Then love must include fear. And we know that perfect love casts out fear. We know from Scripture, even if we don't know it from experience, that perfect love casts out fear. That there is no fear in God's love, and that real love doesn't have anything to do with fear. So if you're living in fear of another person, there are really only two options. One, that they are a dangerous person on some level. They are treating you in an ungodly way. Or it's also possible that your fear is from a guilty conscience, and if you had a clean conscience, that your fear would be gone away. So, hey Shauna, so if you have a clear conscience and you know you have not done anything, you have your integrity, you've not done anything wrong, and you are still afraid of this person, then it is a very high likelihood that they are an unsafe person on some level. But see, here's the thing. Sometimes, and this is a quote from this book that I've been doing a coaching course on, which has just been amazing. Sometimes those who have a righteous cause can be the worst at having a negative, toxic, and poisonous effect on you instead of a nurturing, healing, and encouraging effect. They are so focused on taking down others who may in fact be perpetuating an evil that they use evil to fight evil. The Bible urges us not to do that. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult, 1 Peter 3:9. And so this is one of the reasons why, at least for me, in my experience, it has become so important to me to be for healing, not just hating abuse. Yes, I hate abuse. Yes, I hate it when people hurt other people. Yes, I hate it when spouses or friends or parents or siblings or bosses or church leaders use their power to cause pain among other people. I hate that. I hate it with a hatred of sin. But the focus, if we focus only on what we hate, it turns us into hateful people. It turns us into ugly, judgmental people where we are quick to be susceptible to falling into the same evil as other people when we're calling out their evil. So yes, we call sin by its right name, but the focus, the spirit in which we do it, the attitude has to be that we are for healing. We are for restoration. Maybe not restoration between you and your abuser. That's not particularly necessary in many cases. But restoration of your own soul, your own spirit, your own attitude, your own healing between you and God. Restoration of your picture of the character of God, of his love for you. Restoration of your ability to extend love to other people. And healing comes when we see other people step in to protect and defend. That's one of the hugest steps in healing. Sometimes we don't get any of that, and that's really, really sad. But very often, when we see someone else use their power to protect and defend instead of to exploit and oppress and manipulate, then we experience this rewiring in our understanding that God can also be good. And I think that's one reason why peers mentors, coaches, other people in the church are so, so important in our journey in healing. Healthy people around us, kind people around us, compassionate people around us, because every single one of those who does something kind, who even calls us out on our need for healing or keeps us accountable to truth in a kind way, those people, thanks. Yeah, you know what? I've had these jammies. Rabbit trail. Someone says they love my jammies. I've had these jammies since before my kids were born. They are some of my oldest, most broken in and super comfortable jammies. I wear them every Christmas season. Thank you. Where was I? So yeah, when we have interactions with people who are displaying characteristics of God's love and accountability in a compassionate, empathic way, it rewires our understanding of the beauty and the healing that comes in knowing God's love and his character. So my goal in the things that I put out is, yes, to raise awareness about abuse, because we need education. But it is also to focus on the impact that healing brings and on each of our need for growth, for joy, for wholeness, for restoration, so that we can live lives that are healed and happy and whole and clean again, regardless of what we've been through. And I believe it's possible. I want you to have peace in your relationship with God. I want you to know what his love feels like. I want you to feel your value because he says you're amazing and valuable. I want you to think with the mind of a warrior daughter of God. Not think with the mind of a lamenter. Oh my goodness. Here we go again. Oh my goodness. Here it's going to happen. It's never going to end. Not thinking like Eeyore. Think with the mind of a warrior daughter of God. God is working on things I cannot see. God will reveal what I need to know when I need to know it. And if he is not revealing anything and there are no immediate steps for me to take, I'm going to rest. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to relax in knowing that he is leading me because I am his daughter. I want you to know, I want all those who follow my page to know that you can become stronger after trauma than you ever would have been before. Let me explain that. I'm not saying that you need to get trauma in your life. I'm saying that trauma doesn't have to break you to where you could never be the way you were before. I'm saying you can be better afterwards. I've been talking to Coach Brenda, who's my partner in Wild, and we've been talking a lot about this lately. She's actually working on some amazing new stuff kind of related to this, but we've been talking about how, we are individuals who understand things in ways we never would have if nothing hard had ever happened in our lives. We've been through hell, but we've come out with an understanding of things that we never grasped before, and a compassion for people that we never possessed before. And we believe strongly that if you allow Jesus to heal you, that after trauma, you can actually be better, happier, stronger, wiser because of the cracks from the stuff that you've been through and the way that those have healed. You can actually be a better person afterward than you could have been without it, which is also a shift. It's a shift in mindset from, I wish that had never happened to me, to, wow, look at all the things that I can do and the stuff I know and the ways that I relate to the world now because that happened to me. Look at how much better of a person I am now. I was just talking to someone recently, and she's been through hell too. And she said, here's a quote. She told me, if I know Jesus and if I'm in heaven, it is because the person who abused me gave me so many opportunities to trust in God, to rely only on God, to depend completely on God, to wait for God's timing, and to cultivate patience and trust. In other words, her journey to know God came as a result of the pain she went through by her abuser, which I think is such a beautiful mind shift from I can't stand how this person has hurt me to check out the results of the pain that I went through and the beauty that that pain has brought. Now, does that mean we go looking for pain? No, don't misquote me, people. Don't go like twisting stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying when pain finds us, we can become stronger, wiser, braver, and more beautiful than we ever would have been without the pain. If we use the pain right. If we allow the pain to cultivate healing. If we embrace the journey, lean into it, and then come out the other side instead of staying stuck in it. So those are my thoughts this morning. And that's why I'm not just against abuse, but I am for healing. Tell me your thoughts. I want to hear what you think. And I would love to know more about what's going on in your mind. Got some really cool new stuff coming in 2020. I can't wait to share it. A lot of healing stuff and a lot of opportunities, a lot of things going on. So anyway, drop me a comment, send me a message, and have a wonderful Christmas.